Okay, I'm going to do a little demonstration for you here of BandLab, which is a free bit of software which runs inside Google Chrome. So you do need to have Google Chrome on your computer, which is completely free to download. And then BandLab is also free as well. So you have to make an account. So when you first just Google BandLab, and it will then give you the instructions to create an account. And once you have, this is the screen which you get, your sort of first screen you see. And the most important button is the Create button up here. So once you click that, it goes into the software, which will look very similar to GarageBand for those of you who have used GarageBand before. There's some other things on this screen which we'll have a look at later, including sort of where your things are saved. But I'm going to go straight in and click Create in a second. So the purpose of this video is a sort of getting started. So I'm just going to go through some basic things of how to record some ideas into the software and how to add sort of new tracks, how to loop things, stuff like that. So those of you who are already quite familiar with GarageBand, I think it's good that you still watch this because you'll learn where things are in this particular software. Those of you who have used it before, you might want to still watch this because you might sort of learn a few new couple of things as well. So let's click Create. And then this is the first screen which comes up, which gives you some different options for your different types of track. So you've got instruments, drum machine, voice or microphone, guitar and bass. So most of the time, I should imagine you're going to want to use the instruments or drum machine. So these are things you can play using your keyboard. So if you've got a music keyboard plugged into your computer, then great, you can use that. But if you don't, then no need to worry, because you can use your normal computer keyboard, your typing keyboard, to work like a music keyboard. So most of the time, yeah, instruments is going to be what you want, or if you want sort of drums, you might want to choose the drum machine track. So the voice microphone, that's for if you've want to record some vocals using the microphone. So you could use the built-in microphone on your computer if it's got one. The guitar and bass. Now this is a mistake which people sometimes make when they use GarageBand at school. Is think, oh, I want to play some guitar on my keyboard. I want a guitar sound, so I'm going to choose the guitar track. But this is an audio track for if you're recording a real guitar. So you need to have this sort of device to be able to plug in your guitar lead into the computer and record a real guitar. And the same with the bass. It's a real bass guitar. And what BandLab does is it loads up all the right sort of settings for recording real guitar or real bass guitar. So if you want like a virtual guitar, which you play on the keyboard, then you have to choose instruments. So I'm going to choose instruments to begin with. And that loads me up. This is a track here. And you can see here it's just called instrument at the moment. And the sound it loads up is a piano to begin with. So I can click on the keys here to hear the sound which has been loaded up. Alternatively, you can see that all of these keys have been given letters, and they're not the names of the notes, because we don't have Z or X notes in music, but these are the keys. So on your QWERTY keyboard, your computer keyboard, these are the keys which each note relates to. So if I play Z, it plays this C down here. So that's really good for sort of playing in ideas. You can move up and down the octave as well. So if you think, oh, this is a bit This is a bit low for my song. If you click the little plus, now it plays the same notes but up 1 octave, so it moves the whole keyboard up a bit. So that's a bit more usable on the keyboard, which is really good. So it's a bit weird because it goes up kind of once you get up to like M, then it jumps up to like your next layer on the keyboard, which is a bit odd. But yeah, can be useful to play in ideas that way. I've also got a music keyboard plugged in, so that works as well. It just picks it up automatically. So if you've got that at home, then it should just work straight away. Excellent. So just going to go over a few of the buttons and stuff first before we actually start recording some ideas. So like I said, this here is your track, which runs across here. That's a piano sound at the moment, so I can over here down at the bottom here is where you can choose your instrument. So you can see you've got all your different selections here, different categories. I could go into different bass instruments, so click that. So now that loads up a bass, but then you can choose within the bass category. I can then got another menu here, and then I've got all these different sorts of bass sounds. So there's plenty to choose from, and if you click one, it plays you a little demo of what that sound is like. So just to go over that again, so first you pick your category of sound, of instrument, and then so strings, and then you can choose the specific sort of string sound you want. Jolly good. Once you've sort of, I'm going to go back to piano actually. I want a piano to begin with. It's just a grand piano is fine. So you can come up to your track here, and I recommend you do this to keep things nice and clear and simple. So instead of calling this instrument, I want to call this piano because that's what I've got on this track. So I'm going to click on that and type in piano. So now I know that this track here is my piano track, which is nice and clear. So some other things, you've got, this is called your transport, so you can, that's play, and also works as pause. That's go back to the beginning, and that's that will move along once you've got stuff recorded in. And then the red circle is the record button. You can change the speed of your music here. So at the moment it's 120, which is a good speed for sort of pop music and stuff like that. But if you wanted it a bit slower, you can click on it and drag it up and down to change your different speeds. So I'm going to go back to 120, that's fine for now. And then over here is your metronome. So I recommend you always turn that on to begin with. That will give you your click to play along, so it keeps you in time. I wouldn't worry about that menu at the moment. This here is your volume. So this is your overall volume of the whole track. So it will change. It's just like a master volume. So it will turn everything up and everything down if you need to use that. Yeah, I think that's enough to be getting on with. So there are a few other things you might have to look at as we get recording, but I think we know enough now to start recording in some piano. So when you hit the record button, it will give you 4 beats counting. So it'll go dit, 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 and then you can start recording. So it just sort of gets you ready to record. So I'm just going to play in something. Don't worry about what I'm actually playing in or recording, in terms of notes and chords and all that sort of stuff. Just concentrate on the buttons I'm pressing, and so you know how to use this software. So I'm going to play in some chords, something like that. Let's just see what we come up with. Okay, so I'm going to hit record. I like that. Good. Press stop. And then that's our piano we just recorded. So just notice that after I pressed record and I finished recording the piano, I pressed the same record button again, but that time, once you're already recording, that changes into a stop button. So you just press that same button again to stop. And then to listen to it back, I can press the play button, or I can press spacebar on the keyboard. Excellent. So there's some things, I've recorded that quite well. It's in time and everything, but it could be a little bit better. So if I want to edit what I've just recorded, I can double click on it. And now I can see all the notes I've just recorded. So some of them are slightly out of time. So what I can do is highlight all of my notes. So you do that by clicking a box and dragging over all the notes. And then I can come down here and click Quantize. And what that does is it puts everything perfectly in time. So let's have a listen to that again. I'm going to click this button to go back to the start and play. Yeah, that sounded better. That's more in time. There's just one other thing I don't like. These notes here are too short. I like those notes longer. So what you can do on each individual note, you can click on it and see how the mouse changes to like this little arrows. I can click on it. Oh, I've got them all highlighted at the moment. So I'm going to click anywhere in this. So now they're not highlighted. I can drag. Alternatively, I could have drawn a little box over all of them, and I can move these notes all at the same time. So now let's have a listen to that. I'm going to do the same thing, but to these three notes here. So I'm going to click and drag, and a bit long. I want those a bit longer. There we go. That looks perfect to me now. Very good. So once I've finished editing in this little screen here, I can click on the little X up here, and that just makes that disappear. So now that I've recorded my little part here, my chords, I can do some different things with it. If you come up to the top right hand corner, can you see there's like a little loopy arrow, and if I click and drag that means it will loop it. So it will just copy it over and over again for as long as I drag it. And it kind of like, when you get to an exact copy of it, like there and here, so that's got 3 of them, and that's 4. It kind of clicks and locks into place, so I know that that's exactly 4 times. So that's important to keep it all nice and neat like this. So this is a 4-bar pattern. So you can see that here it lasts for 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. So each time I loop it, I need to make sure it goes on for 4 bars exactly. Otherwise you might end up with, if it's like that, it might end up sounding a bit weird. So I'm going to loop it 4 times like that. So once it gets to the and you can see it here, it's still all nice and in time. Notice as well that moving this playhead. This is called the playhead. So that's the position from where it starts playing from. I can move that by clicking on the triangle bit at the top and just dragging it. So that's quite a useful way of, getting to a part of the song you want to listen to